Hello, Mislav.
Hello.
You ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I guess we all have a bit of trouble with this feedback. Okay. My slides, wow. My slides gonna be a little bit bad. Wow. Sorry, the feedback is killing me. So the slides are not going to be very useful because I'm more of a man of, I would say, spoken word. Okay, now it's better when I hold the mic a little bit further away. So today we're going to be speaking about community energy. So just to give a little bit of an introduction, what is community energy? So I'm assuming most of you are familiar with the classical way of procuring energy. So in the classical way of procuring energy, you basically pay your bills to a centralized electricity provider. This is how it's been done for 100, 150 years since, the time of Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla. But this model is starting to break apart at the seams. So what has been the reason for this model to break apart? Well, the main reason, the main driving force behind why this model has been breaking apart has been renewable energy. And the reasons are quite clear. So when you have a centralized electricity provider, you'll have like a huge nuclear power plant or a extremely large gas power plant or something of the sort, right, next to some industrial part of the town where you don't see it, you don't know about it, you have no connection to it whatsoever. It's operated by the national utility company, in Croatia, as we all know, HEP, and basically you as a common citizen, all you have to know is when I click the button, my electricity comes up. Well, with solar, with wind, with biomass, with all other forms of renewable energy, it's quite different. So renewable energy in its very essence is decentralized. The solar panel is on your roof. The wind turbine is in your neighborhood. The biomass plant, it's right behind your grocery store. So by its very nature, the centralized way of selling electricity doesn't work for renewable energy. This is why this has happened, by the way. I'm not sure many people realize, but this is the current state of community energy in the European Union. Unfortunately, Croatia is, it is what it is. But we're hoping to make it better in the coming years, decades, and hopefully we can play a little part in this. But you can see countries such as Netherlands, Denmark, basically Germany in specific, United Kingdom, Portugal. You can see what they're doing. They're having thousands and thousands and thousands of small, localized productions of electricity. So why are they doing this? Well, first of all, surprisingly maybe, it's cheaper. In the day and age of renewable energy, it's cheaper to produce your own electricity than it is to buy it from your utility provider. Solar is one of the cheapest ways to produce electricity globally. And this includes large productions that benefit from utilities of scale. So it's cheaper to produce solar than it is to buy gas, nuclear, or whatever else you might buy from your utility provider. But there's one issue. If you want to do it alone, it's quite difficult. So if I want to be the person that's building my own solar power plant, that's managing my own bills, that's selling my own electricity, that's basically doing everything I can to work locally as an individual, I will be highly inefficient. And I will always lose due to market dynamics. So there is no possible way that I, as an individual, can compete against the collective. But what can I do? I can join my community. If there's 50 of us, if there's 100 of us, if there's 500, 1,000, 5,000 of us in our cities, in our municipalities, in the villages, in nature reserves, on islands, wherever, if we group together into local communities which are self-sustaining and producing their own electricity, we can fundamentally change the way electricity is produced and sold in the European Union and later on in the world. So, I have gone a bit over this, why it's cheaper. But the big thing is we have much more points to discuss. Community energy, by its very nature, is more flexible. I'm sure every single one of you has experience working with government institutions. You go to change your ID, they ask you to sign another paper, then you come with that paper, then they tell you you need another paper, and then because you got another paper, this paper that you brought first, it's no longer valid, so you need another paper. And you get stuck in a loop, and something that could have been done in 15 minutes takes around 5 days to do. So it's the same thing with large centralized utility providers. They're huge, they're bureaucratic, they're highly inefficient, they're slow to change. They're essentially behemoths, who are moving at a snail's pace, trying to innovate, but failing due to their own bureaucratic principles. But if there's 500 of us, if there's 100 of us, well, we can just have a meeting and say, look, well, we don't think, solar on this roof is profitable. It might be more profitable to build there. We can agree on the terms of collaboration in 5, 10 days, who cares, 1 month. But it won't take us 5 years to build a 10-year strategy to start transitioning or whatever. So we're much, much more flexible. What does this mean for the technologies that we use? It means that we can go fully digital. Why can't centralized providers go fully digital? Well, they can't go fully digital because they have a 85-year-old couple from a rural village that doesn't know how to use their phone and that doesn't know how to use internet, and they also have to charge electricity to them. So either they're gonna have two systems, one for IT crowd, young people who are informatically aware, and one for people who don't really know how to use computers, or more likely than not, they're just gonna stick to the old system. So the community energy, we went fully digital. Beyond the point, that's something my company does. We are digitizing basically the processes in renewable energy communities. And it's very easy to digitize them because, again, as I mentioned, they are quite small. And as I already mentioned, community energy is more than 90% renewable. Because if you're a community, you're not gonna build a nuclear power plant. You're not gonna build a gas power plant that costs 5 billion to build. You're probably gonna invest €500,000 in a solar installation or a wind installation. So, be warned. Every time anyone promises who is a big utility behemoth that they're going to innovate, they are more likely than not lying. They might have a specific, I would say, section of their company where they're going to innovate, but that's not going to scale properly. If you want true innovations, if you care about the environment and you want to transition to renewable energy, I suggest to take up arms and try and find your local energy community. As I mentioned, unfortunately, in Croatia, there's not many of them, but why not be the change you want to see in the world? You can organize community action if you want. You can talk to me, I can help you. And we have a lot of partners who are willing to help, whether through media channels, whether through exposure to investors, whether through exposure to people doing corporate electricity payments, etc., etc. Basically, the point is we want you to activate. We want you to become an active participant of your electricity supply. Because if you're not, the renewable energy revolution won't be a revolution. It might not even be an evolution. The sad truth is most centralized electricity providers, they have their own legacy systems. So if you have $50 billion invested into gas, nuclear, or whatever, why would you play against yourself and invest into renewables? They'll do it for PR. They'll do it to hedge themselves. But they'll never be successful as we can be with community energy. But the big benefit of community energy is its big downfall. It's local. It's community-oriented. It's in your city. It's in your village, municipality, island. So how are you going to, let's say, sell electricity from your city to another city? How are you going to invest into renewable energy sources outside of your city? Let's say an island in Greece is posting a project. They are requiring 500,000 euros for a solar installation, and you think it's a good project, you want to invest in it, you know you're going to make some money back, and you have no way of doing that. So our mantra with renewable energy and energy communities has been invest local, trade global. From this extremely simplified diagram, you can see the basic plan. So it says here AmpNet Hub. AmpNet is my company, and this is how we plan to solve it. But more than just for us, we think this is the only way to solve it. So as you can see, you have energy communities. Let's say one is from Germany, the other is from Netherlands, the other is from wherever, and they want to collaborate together. Well, our idea is to build a central platform where they can all connect, sell electricity among themselves, invest into each other's projects, collaborate on projects together, share data, share information, use the same people for billing, for issuing receipts, etc., etc. So we want to make this local community energy as efficient, let's say, on the terms of economies of scale, as centralized energy. And we think we are quite a far way, we already come quite a far way in doing this. So I still have a lot of time left, but not much to say. Beyond, join the cause. This is not something that's going to happen on its own. This is something that's going to happen if you activate, if you join your local activist organization, if you believe in renewable energy, if you believe that there is a potential that you can stop climate change, that you can influence the way we basically work and gather our electricity, well then contact us and contact your local energy community. That was all from me. Thank you very much.